see with the I'm not going to do that.
We would like to welcome you all to the banquet to celebrate the achievement and the accolades that these ladies have earned this season. It's been a long one, and it's been a big difference from last season, right? So we all agree. You can see each other's faces, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what? See, yeah, what?
So, that is that. Turn it over.
Darryl, you have anything? We're going to say that to Darryl 3 or 4 times tonight. My guess will probably be like, yeah, I'm good. The girls will understand. So like Vince said, first of all, thanks for coming out. We were able to have a banquet last year, but we had to do it outside, so we had to keep it smaller. We had to wear a mask. We did it in my backyard. We had some fun, but it wasn't like getting together like this. And 2 years ago, when the pandemic, we got through our season right as the pandemic started, and we had to do a virtual. So to be able to get together, do an environment where, like Vince said, can celebrate the ladies on their accomplishments in the season is always fun. So let me just give you a little rundown of what we're going to do. We're still waiting for a couple players to get here. So we're just going to do a couple thank yous, talk about the program tonight, and then we're going to let you guys eat. So I'm going to start with some thank yous. So once I do my thank yous, we're going to eat. And then we're going to do freshman participation awards and JV participation varsity. And then when we're done that, we have some player awards for all 3 teams. So let me just talk one thing that's different this year than it's been since we took over the program. And one is the freshmen are with us. Freshmen have never been really part of our program for a banquet and or practices. A couple things changed, and we can thank our AD for that. One, the freshman girls never followed our schedule for JV and varsity. They always followed the boys. So we didn't get to see them play. They practiced at a different time than we did, so we didn't really get to see them practice. So we put something in place this year to make it more of one program. They practiced with us, they were on the same schedules, we got to see them play more, and it was a really, really good thing for us as coaches. And unfortunately, Coach Magidi couldn't be here today, he had a conflict, but he does have some special words that I will pass on his behalf. So that's why we have more faces here than we normally do too, so thank you for coming out. So for all the players, thanks for coming out and joining us. We know you have busy schedules, I played some sports, and to our families and parents and friends who came out, thank you as well. Because honestly, one of the nicest things we have is support for the girls. We'd like to see more of it in the stands, but for those who come and are there, we get great support. And they're not just here cheering their own kids on, they cheer the entire team, all teams. So for that, thank you. I need to thank Coach Darryl and Coach Vince. Without these guys, I am not the infamous coach. By the way, I don't think infamous is good. Just saying. The famous saying, Coach Vince. Without these guys, we don't do what we do. They put practice plans together, they do drills, they're doing weight room stuff now. And in game, they are the biggest asset I have. When I tell you, I can't tell you how many times they said, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'll say, no, I think so, and Coach Darryl will give you like, you need to do it right now, and then we do it and good things happen. So in-game coaching is really, really important. We added an extra coach to the varsity and JV staff, that's Coach Vince. Thank you again to our athletic department for getting that done. What that gives us is an extra set of eyes, an extra set of hands. In-game coaching is the most important coaching that we need. When girls come off the floor, sometimes they're confused of what the heck we're yelling at them about, even though we're not yelling, I promise we won't yell. It's very, very loud. To be able to explain what's happening and why we're talking to certain things is really, really important. So these guys, thank you very much. To the athletic department, Ms. Camisso could not be here today. She was planning on being here, unfortunately couldn't be here. A couple of things that you as parents need to know that she did for us. One, she had the freshman program part of our program following. So that's number one. 2, new locker rooms set up. We have a space for the girls dedicated to them all season long. 3, shooting machine that we never had before. She was able to get that approved. And I'm missing one other big thing. Oh, a new camera system. A second camera system in the gym so we can practice, we can videotape our practice and games. But most importantly, the ability to break down our stats, highlights, clips, and everything. So she saved me, Darryl, and Vince 2.5 hours every game, because after the game we come home, download the film, break it down while we're scouting the next game. just being able to not have to break that one game down so we can move on to the next one helps us, and we'll talk about that when we get to our season stuff. So thank you to the athletic department. Parents, family members, again, thank you for all the support this year. For the families who helped support our booster club, who helped donate food to the snack stand, helped donate their time, thank you very much, because that pays for this tonight for the girls and so for most of the guests. So that leaves me last to thank the boosters. So everyone who's participated at the games, who helped support our snack stand, who, like I said, donate to it and help run it. We're not here without it. And I do have to acknowledge one person back there, because she is the booster club, it's my wife. So the booster club's responsible for fundraising, paying the bills that we have come in. So our things like our warm-ups, senior night gifts that we paid for, senior night t-shirts, the banquet being covered for the most part for the players and most of the guests, senior guests. We don't get that unless we have the booster club. So when I tell you I drove her nuts the last 3 days, Rachel, you know I am a little OCD-ish, right? You know how much I drove my wife nuts the last 3 days? They got to see it a little bit, but she drives me nuts too, right?
Never.
So, you know, so we have to say thank you for that. So, I think, did I miss anyone? Miss anyone? Thank you guys, thank the AD department, thank the girls, thank the families, thank the booster club. I think we're good. So what we're gonna start, you're very welcome, it's my pleasure. So we're gonna start with the players first. We're gonna be varsity, then JV, then freshman. Yes, we still have a hierarchy, ladies. We start from top to bottom. So seniors and varsity first. Then we're gonna let the players get their food first, then family. Oh, I did forget someone to thank. I knew it. I need to thank Tommy, who's standing back there with the camera, and Quantat over here with his head down because he doesn't like acknowledgement too much. Let me tell you a little about these two guys, especially Quantat. He takes all our pictures. He shows up at our games, not just our games. He's everywhere. These guys are everywhere filming and for taking pictures of all the athletes and kids in the Upper Darby area. So he not only does girls basketball, he does boys basketball, he does football, he does Clifton Pal. You'll see his pictures everywhere, and to be able to have that for the girls is, and he doesn't charge us 1 penny. He does it on the kindness of his heart. He runs a business. To be able to run a business like that, so we had the ability to invite them out as our guest today. It was important for us to say thank you to that. And again, check out his website. Girls, if you haven't looked at your pictures, go find them because there's some good ones out there. And if you guys need pictures for family, events, graduation, that's the guy. Check it out. All right? So thank you for all being here. Girls, let's go eat, and then we'll start with the awards after we get out everyone here, okay? Girls, listen up. All right, we're going to get started. So again, we're going to start with our freshman program first, then we'll go to JV, and then we're going to go to varsity, and then we're going to loop back around for individual awards, okay? So freshman girls, Coach Majidi could not be here, so we chatted a little bit. And the one thing you guys need to know that we saw, and then Coach Majidi saw, is the amount of improvement from day 1 through the end of the year. We literally had girls coming to us after the first practice. I'm not going to mention any names. Coach Majidi making us run too much. Really? First practice, Coach Majidi's making us run too much. So they did run. They ran hard. Every day was consistent practice, fundamentals, ball handling, footwork, shooting. And they went from their first game of the year. How many points you scored in that first game? You guys remember?
That's not enough.
Not very many, right? Not very many. I think it may have been 1 bucket. That's okay. Listen up. The amount of progress that you guys have shown from day 1 through the end of the year, when you kind of beat up on a couple teams, one being Ridley.
Yep.
The progress that you made was by far and away the most progress we've seen in any freshman team. The other thing I have to make sure they understand is we took a couple freshmen and moved them up. So our freshman team could have been a lot better from a game perspective, but some freshmen got moved up to JV because we needed help on JV. We didn't have enough people. So their talent got them on JV, which hurt the freshman team a little bit. when girls get to play together for year after year after year, by the time they hit the varsity program, it makes it a whole lot easier. So Coach Majidi wanted you guys all to know, he's very proud of the progress you've made. We're proud of the progress. Coach Vince helped out, I helped out. I don't know, did you ever help out with the freshmen too much? Coach Darryl said, I don't help the freshmen. But there was literally one practice, and I won't go into the reasons why, where I jumped into freshman and Vince went down to varsity, right? That's the value of having everyone practice together. Freeman, do you remember what caused that? We won't say, don't worry about it. We won't say. It wasn't creative. Coach Nick got a little mad that day, remember? So girls, first of all, great job. I'm gonna have Coach Vince announce you guys up. Okay, so this is one thing we're gonna fix in the future. Freshmen girls do not get letters. So I'm a big believer in making sure everyone understands the differences. So you don't get letters, but you do get a participation certificate. You will get a pin you put on your letter for next year. So make sure you keep it, put it in a safe place. So if you end up playing all 4 years, your letter should eventually look like this with the pins on it. So that by looking at 4 pins, that means you played all 4 years. So don't lose the pin. Keep it. It means something, okay? And for Sandy, who already lost their last 3 pins, we'll make sure she gets a new one. So that's what it's all about. We'll start with the managers first.
Yay, managers!
We have Mackenzie Dale.
Don't go anywhere.
And we also like to acknowledge Bianca Davis Taylor.
For those who don't, and you're going to hear this a couple times, the managers play a really, really big part into our program. They help us as coaches stay on path and track during practices. They run the clock. Our varsity practice, our JV practice, we run a program that everything's timed, and sometimes we get off track. It's up to them to keep me on track. They do more than everyone thinks. And they are part of our program. We thank you for your help, and I better see you again next year for JV.
Janelle Bond.
You want to say anything about Janelle first? No, we're going to say it right. Stay here. Don't go nowhere. Say it now, or I have to talk. Okay, I'll say something since he obviously is saving words for later on. I don't know why. So Janelle, we met Janelle in our off season. She came out to our open workouts. She's a cousin of one of our former players, and she's just as sweet as her cousin. So one of the players who, she played JV, right? We moved up? Yep. So this is one of our freshman players who started out in the freshman team. Some players on JV decided not to show up or were not available, so we moved Janelle up, and she really progressed a lot more than she thought. She actually played in our fall league, and I'll never forget when I texted her and said, hey, would you like to play this Sunday? Do you remember what you said? It was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, we're sure. We wouldn't be asking you unless we wanted you to be there. So from that day to the end of the season, she progressed a lot. Great job.
Kendra Dale.
Don't cry, my girl.
You're going to cry?
I'm gonna cry.
I want to let everybody know that Kendra Dale has progressed so far from the start, from tryouts, to asking a million questions about how she can get better. And you did. Zaire. Z. We all call her Z. Goes by Z. Open up my eyes. Came by right. I met Z during a workout. This is the first time I met Z.
Yep.
I kicked her out. I'm sorry.
You did.
I'm sorry.
Don't look at me.
You would have fit right in with Sage, her sister, and the varsity players because from day one, you showed potential.
That's right.
All right? We had Big Country, Miley, Shane Miley. First year playing basketball, right?
Say that again.
This is Shane's first year playing basketball. And you guys seen how she played on the court. Y'all wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Because she's passionate. She wants to score buckets, but I gotta tell her every time it's not about the points. It's about the impact that you make on the game. And you make a big impact, along with a few other players, okay? Yes. Evangelina.
Is she crying?
It's in cursive.
Can't read it.
Lils, I'm not gonna say she's one of my favorites though. Y'all are my favorite players. But Lils right here, no. Lils, no. And I tell everybody, I say, where I tell y'all to meet me at? The Y. I tell everybody, y'all can meet me at the Y. Lils meets me at the Y. She comes in to put the work.
I've never heard of it.
Well, now you know beats your head.
Last but not least, Adios.
Holly doesn't like to smile. There's a lot. See, make everyone look. See the face? This is how she plays. I'm being dead serious. I would say something to her, and I didn't know she was mad at me. If she was like happy, angry, like this is how she plays all the time. And I will say that transitions into a lot of effort and a lot of hard work. And that's why she came. But yeah, you guys, yeah.
I can say Holly made probably one of the biggest improvements from the first day seeing her till the end of the season. She made a big improvement. Whereas though we pulled her up to a JV and she even dressed for varsity by the end of the year. So.
So one last thing that I forgot to talk about our freshman class, they did not play an 8th grade season. They lost their entire 8th grade season coming into their freshman year. We already heard, Shane didn't play, it was their first year playing. Losing that year is detrimental to any team and any program, but again, to watch how far they progressed. We always talk, we love our seniors, but the future of the program is our freshmen. You better stop saying yeah, right, because you're a senior next year. So girls, you did a great job. We appreciate how hard you worked. I know the biggest change from middle school basketball to high school basketball is the amount of work, the amount of stuff that we do. It's 2 hours nonstop. We give you a couple water breaks, but it's about working hard, and you guys did a great job. So that's why you progressed so far. If there's a misspelling, it's his fault. It's his fault.
Where's the line?
I'll fix it for you. Look, I told you you had it wrong there. All right, so with that, we're going to move over to the JV team. I'll turn it over to Darby. Where's one of you letters? All right, Coach Darrell's turning it back over to me. Coach Darrell is a man of few words when it's this environment, but he's not a man of few words when we are playing. He has plenty to say, and he absolutely talks to the girls to make sure he's coaching. So JV team, there was a lot of adversity this year. We had a lot of hurdles to get over. We had players start the season, did not end the season. We had 2 players, one moved back home, one had some family issues and she could not play. Both were players that would have really helped us. So we started with 10. Actually, before this even started, we had a player who had made the team, couldn't play. Health issues, personal issues, she couldn't play. We kept the door open for her all year, but it just didn't work out. Then we had 2 players leave. Then we had something called eligibility issues with some of our players, which meant that we at one point went from a team of 11 JV down to 4 eligible players. And that makes his job, Vince's jobs, really, really hard. I get to stay away from it because I don't like the eligibility. We work very hard on the eligibility. For parents that don't know, we know their grades. We get the reports, we know if they're not eligible, is because, and we give them ample time to fix it. And if you're not eligible, it's because they didn't fix it. So we had those hurdles. We had injuries. We had players playing hurt all year long, pushing themselves, and we finally shut a certain player down for her, the better her health. And then we had some of the younger players step up and help out. We actually had some of our varsity players go down to help out. They're willing. Listen, when you go up to varsity and you're focusing on certain things that we work on, to come down and play, even though we run similar offense, it's hard. It's not easy to step in and play with players who haven't played all year. And we had players step up and say, I'll be more than happy to do it. So the JV team this year really kind of had to really work hard, and by the end of the year, again, playing really well, playing at a very high level, executing offenses. You'll hear me talk about this with the varsity, but the level of play just got better and better, even through all the adversity. And that's really a tribute to these 2 guys, because they keep working every day with a plan, and the girls worked hard as well. So great job, ladies. I'll have Coach Darrell hand out your letters.
I want to start with Lils. A little bit about Lils. She originally didn't make JV. And we didn't have enough players, and we pulled her up from freshman. And then she played for JV for the rest of the year, and she did a good job. So I'm proud of you, Lils. Go Sini.
Step over there, take a picture with this thing. You stay here. Take a picture first.
One thing about Sini, she in the beginning of the year she missed a few games because of some personal things. But when she came back, she picked right up where she left off. I told Sini she did a great job this year. So, good job.
So I gotta add something. So Sini at the beginning of the season, after we did not put her on varsity, said to me, Coach Nick, why didn't I make varsity? It's a great question. A lot of times we have to factor in playing time and where we're going to see development. I told Sini right off the bat, she needs to develop certain things to be able to move up to varsity, but she's not going to get them sitting on the bench, right? So we had her literally selected to continue to play. One, we needed a leader on the JV team. We needed someone who can control the ball. We had some young girls coming up and playing. And like you said, Coach Carroll said, there were some adversity. You're going to hear that's a common theme, adversity, right? We have to get through it. She had adversity this year, stayed focused, worked with me, worked with the AD, and we got her back. And Sini should be really proud about what you accomplished this year. And yes, you should be ready to play and lead a lot again next year.
Hi. Ida, this is her first year playing GB. She made improvements as the year got on. She still struggled making left-hand layups, but other than that, she did a good job though. And her hustle on the court.
Wait, won't sit down.
Riley. Riley.
Yeah, Riley. He's speaking.
Say no, Riley was one of our leaders on JV. As the season got on, we had, like I said, we had injuries, we had grades. A lot of people couldn't keep their grades up. Riley was one of the main people that, from the day one, she was there at everything. Her grades was right all year. Riley made great improvement as the year went on. So for that, I'm proud of you, Riley.
There's no funny.
Daryl, don't smile, Daryl.
So Coach Nick probably want to say this, but I'll take it from him. We had a Saturday practice, and Aubrey was on the court with Varsity. And the play broke down. And she stepped back and said, "What'd you say, Aubrey?" That's probably the first time we heard any player say that.
At that young age. At that age, she took over. I mean, we needed help. And she pulled the ball back and said, "Reset, I stopped practice." And you can tell the rest, right? I stopped practice, and we had to talk about, you know, because one of the things we struggle with some of our girls is they just don't have enough confidence to have a voice. We work on that all year long. When you think that there's some frustration, that's where the frustration comes from. And she had a voice as a freshman, stepping in and helping out, which showed us a lot, which is pretty impressive at a young age.
Also, I want to elaborate. Aubrey played hurt all year. Besides the last couple games where she couldn't play no more. She was one of the leaders on JV. I think losing her hurt JV a little bit for her leadership, but I'm proud of you. Sage was also one of our captains on JV. She was one of the leaders all year. She carried JV for most of the part of the season.
Don't you girls understand you can't throw Coach Darryl off like that?
Sage from Fall League, she was ready. She was ready to step up. When my first game, because I think Fall League started before I came, she was ready. She had a big steal. I mean, the Fall Leagues, they're there for workouts. Just come out and play. But it was a win. That still secured a win. And right there, I was like, okay. I said, Nick, we got something in the making. So I'm excited to see how far you'll progress as the years come. We had conversations, so I know where you want to go. You got it. So keep showing up, keep putting the work in.
So I have a question for Sage. What's one thing you need to work on?
My left hand.
Your what?
My left hand.
Your left hand. But why? Can you tell everyone what you did at the end of the season in a game? The ball didn't go in. What did you turn and say to me?
That's right.
I tried my left hand, Coach. But ball didn't go in. We're excited. Literally turn, I use my left hand, coach. And that's, again, progress from the beginning to the end. Sage has a lot of talent, and she's going to be a big part of the rebuild. She's got some big shoes to fill. You're going to hear that in a little bit. She's got some big shoes to fill, but she can do it if she keeps working. Good job, Sage.
Janelle. Pretty much what Coach Nick said. But Janelle got moved up from freshman in the middle of the season because we short players. From the first day I saw Janelle to the end of the season, she got a lot better. I told Janelle that. But Janelle made a lot of progress in the season. I'm looking forward to see how she keeps progressing. How do you? I did another person. She was a freshman. She moved up in the middle of the season because we were short players. She, like I said earlier, she made probably the most progress as a freshman.
Make sure we didn't forget anybody. Did we forget any JV players? We good? All right, so let me just explain. So you saw Janelle and Hottie look a little surprised that they got a letter because we said freshmen don't get a letter, but because they played more than half the season on JV, guess what? We feel that you guys deserve that letter.
That's not about
That's why you guys both participated, because they both still played some freshmen throughout the season, JV, and like Coach Darrell said, some varsity too. So JV, let me just say this. You know, we're not always easy, right? We push you guys. There's a reason why we push you really hard during practice. A couple times during practice, so I'm down one end, Coach Darrell's down the other end, Vince is between both. I'll say to Vince, why are they so quiet down there? What's going on? It was like a bad practice. And then we'll walk down there and we'll light fire under your butts and get you working again. We've done that more than a couple times, right? The varsity team's had that done a couple times. The freshman team has to have it done. But again, the progress, again, like I said in the beginning, we had an up and down season, players coming in and out. It's never easy to have to play with girls that have never played in a game with you before, right? They know certain things and they don't know certain things. So we just go play. What do we do, Dana? What do? We just go.
Play basketball.
Thank you. Play basketball.
Why you had to mouth it like I ain't know?
You're like D1D, like.
Chill. You ain't got to do all that.
Got you.
Yeah, got you.
So JD did a great job. Appreciate it. So we're gonna take a quick break because there's some desserts out. If you guys want to get some desserts or some cupcakes, cookies, that we had to get this team to be more vocal. So we worked very hard in practices trying to get them to be loud. We call it being loud and proud. We begin practice, end practice, trying to be as enthusiastic as possible. And sometimes with me as the coach, it's not always so easy to be enthusiastic when we have a bad practice. I'm not afraid to say to the parents that you're in here, yeah, there's practices where I get really frustrated. Not because they're making mistakes. In their mind, that's what it is. It's not about that. It's because they're not paying attention or they're just not talking to each other. And the three biggest frustration times this year when I ask a question, I get, right? And they know what I'm talking about. But we came a long way from the beginning of the year, middle of the year, to the end of the year. That did not happen. They were vocal, they picked up each other. And the one thing you can see about our girls, no matter what team they are on, they like having fun, as you can see here tonight. They support each other, they cheer each other on. This one probably cheers too much at certain times, but they do pick each other up. So a couple other ways we grew this team. We worked really hard to be as physical as possible. Our girls, in the beginning of the season, were not very physical. We worked day in and day out. We had a drill and a defensive drill. We called it what? To get strong. What was it called? Someone said it. No paint. Thank you, Rachel. No paint. That's a drill where literally you got to stop the girl from getting into the lane. And you had to stop them. That means you had to use physical contact, which they didn't like to do. So we had to work really hard by the end of the season. We were taking the baseline away, we were taking the middle of the lane away, we were helping each other, and we were playing really good defense. So we became more physical, we became more vocal, we became more physical, and we became just smarter basketball players. The team went from running 2 offensive plays for man, 1 offensive zone play, 2 inbound plays, to running 7 man offenses. And these are full offensive sets, not just quick plays. 7 different offenses between man and zone, and we ran 4 different zone offenses. We ran 4 inbound plays. We ran 4 sideline inbound plays. We put that all together. That's a lot to take in that they did not realize how far they come running 2 offenses to running college set offenses. And that's why we competed at a much higher level. That's why we played as well as we did. And we played some tough teams this year. We played some physical teams. So let's just talk about the win-loss records. We won 5 games, and we'll take that because it's 5 more than the year before. But it could have been 10. The difference between our wins and losses is we only won 1 Central League game. It was probably the best game we played all year long. We gave some payback to a school that came into our gym and got a little too loud, so we gave them payback. Down 11, going into the 4th quarter, came back and won against Lower Merion on their senior night. The one thing that our team sees the most of is senior nights. We had our own senior night, but we also had 4 other senior nights that we participated in because everyone loves to pick up a Darby because they think it's going to be a win, and it's not always an easy win. And that's probably the one thing that I'm most proud about these girls is they don't take it personally. They go in and we play hard. And that game, down 11, I leaned in. I was telling a parent, I leaned into Coach Darrell and said, we just played our best game of the year against Ridley. We're down 11 against a team we should be up against 20 on. I think Darrell said it's time for a timeout. We called a timeout. We regrouped the girls. We talked about a couple things, and they went out there in the 4th quarter, and everything clicked. Literally, the lights went on in the 4th quarter. They stopped rushing. They started playing patiently. They started moving the ball, and the ball found the bottom of the basket. So to win that game, it was only 1 of 5 wins, but it was probably the best game that we played in a win. And our best game in a loss was against Ridley, coming off a tough week where we played 4 schools. By the way, we played 4 games in 6 days and only 2 practices. That's not easy. So this team grew every time, bless you. They grew every time on the floor. Our goal was to be better every time we came out of the game. Every time we came off the floor, our goal was to be better. And I don't think they realized how far they came and how far they executed. So, girls, all I would tell you is that I could not be more proud of what you guys did this year and how hard you worked from the beginning to end. It started off in a game where it was a big win, and probably one of the scariest things I ever seen, where we watched one of our players take 3 punches to her face, and we watched the rest of her teammates just pick her up and just support her all day long, right? So it goes to show you that support level is just amazing for these girls. And listen, it's not always easy, right? Some girls started games, then they didn't start games. Some girls' minutes were high, then they weren't, because we constantly looking to see what we can do to be better. But the team worked hard every single day at practice. And even though there was a lot of frustration, well, I shouldn't say a lot, there was some frustration on days where we weren't getting things done. They probably are, and I got to be careful this stays in this room, because there's certain people outside this room that'll get mad at me. This group of girls was probably the most enjoyable team to coach since I've been the head coach or part of the program. The reason why we got to keep that here because one of the other teams had my daughter on it, so they can pay for it. Okay. So girls, great job. So with that, let's start letters. Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna go sophomores, right? Just juniors. Let's go, Kayla Bob first. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
So, Kayla is a junior, going to be a senior next year, and she has shoes to fill. She has to step up in a leadership role. Some of you guys are all worried about certain girls leaving and have to replace the points. No, we have to replace much bigger than points. We have to replace the girls that were our leaders on the floor, and you have the ability to do that. You also have the ability to be loud. And here's a player that Her playing time was down this year because her confidence was down. But I looked at some stats. She had 75% free throw shooting. She's the highest free throw shooting percentage on her team. Who do we want in the game at the end when we need to put free throws in the basket? You. Very good.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Do what?
Don't say it.
Oh, I'm saying it. So Dana's very worried about me saying something, and I won't say what she thinks I'm going to say, but Dana is one of those girls that, again, when she wants to play hard, she just goes out and plays. One thing I will tell you about Dana is if she makes a mistake, she keeps going, she keeps playing, she doesn't even realize it. She looks to get in the right position, and if we can get her to want to shoot the ball, she can actually put the ball in the basket. But Dana is not as fast as she thinks she is. My hamstring held up enough to beat you. So she did challenge me in a race. I did pull a hamstring. I did win the race.
I let him win.
She will not let me let the hamstring down.
After 2 trials.
But this is a young lady who had to deal with some personal stuff this year, again, with grades and some home stuff. And she kept coming to practice and work through it, and again, keep working hard. And if she would just realize when I'm coaching and teaching versus being afraid that I'm mad at her, she'll go a long way. Good job.
Wait, my fault, CCP.
Rachel, come on up.
Let's go,
Am I not taking pictures? You did your pose. You do the same pose in every picture. So, Rachel, another junior who's probably one of the most athletic kids we have on the team. Fought through injuries this year. She hurt her foot. What else did you hurt? There was 2 injuries. Toe, leg. But fought through. You know, it's real easy to say, you know, girls get hurt during games. And one thing I had a conversation with Rachel about is, and I had this with my own daughter, there's a difference between being hurt, something hurting, and being injured. And she had to fight through some of that stuff throughout this year. Now, your toe was injured. There's no doubt about that. Though we pushed her through that toe injury pretty quickly. Mom and Dad, you may not know this, but we had her walking on, stretching on at practice just a little bit sooner. And then she started doing this at practice. I'm like, yo, stop, don't do that. But she came back and fought through injury. She also had to deal with some health issues. And the kid works hard. And we talk about this all the time. It's about working hard. And Rachel gets a little nervous out there sometimes when the shot doesn't go in or she makes a mistake. You'll see this face.
You got that?
Or she doesn't want to shoot the basketball next year. The one thing I will tell you is that you're not going to just be an inside player. We have you shooting from the outside for a reason.
That's right.
So you will make sure that she can shoot the ball. The girl can shoot, she just needs the one to shoot. And the other thing I need to throw out there real quick, outside of basketball, but for the seniors, Rachel did an amazing job helping put together our senior night, making sure the seniors... Any juniors left? CC, come on up. So Cece didn't play her sophomore year, right? You missed sophomore year.
Yeah.
So coming back after a year off, stepping in, we saw something very early in Cece at some of the open gyms, some of the fall league stuff, and we kind of went like this. We have another guard. We have another guard.
Yeah.
But she's not just a guard. She actually played a lot of forward down low. Now she's one of the smaller girls on the team height-wise, but we put her in a position where she had to get rebounds. She was the third leading rebounder on our team. She third in steals. If she wanted to be, she could be third in scoring, if not higher. So Cece also fought through, she had a banged up knee almost all season, right?
Every day.
Had to fight through pain, played hard. There was times where her confidence was down. We put a little pressure on her because she was doing so many good things that she realized, hey, there was some weight on her shoulder, and sometimes that weight on her shoulder becomes pressure. But she handled it really well. I think the biggest thing she may be fearing right now is that she feels like she has to be the scorer next year. She doesn't. You need to be the person with the ball in your hand to control the flow of the game and put the ball in other people's hands to help you score and them score, and you have the ability to do that. Your knack, your instincts on defense, the way you jump to a basketball and get into a passing lane is what sets you apart with other kids at your age, so you should be proud of that, and you did really good this year, and I better see you on the court next year. Any particular order?
Let's start with the one that gave it her all, even though she didn't want to be there.
Yeah, we'll go there. So Maurice Lyndon, because she just recently had surgery. First, take the picture. So just had surgery because unfortunately she tore her ACL. She did not do it in basketball because she didn't really want to play basketball this year. So Maura played as a freshman, was our manager the last 2 years, and honestly, when we sat down and we discussed like where we need one more piece of the puzzle that we felt could step in, know what we're doing, and really be able to help us defensively, and that was Maura. So I had a conversation with her. She had conflicts, she had soccer, she had this, she had that, but she gave us a lot of her time, and she was a big part of our team this year. You don't realize how well you did when you were out there, especially defensively. She's one of the smartest players on our team. She probably doesn't realize that as well. For someone who doesn't play, I think you only averaged about 8 minutes a game, but it was probably, when you think about roles on a team, what she gave us to be able to give girls breaks, to be able to go out there and not worry about losing or giving up points, that was more. And she did a great job, and really appreciate you coming back to give me your senior year. And then the one last thing is that she was also nominated and received the award, in case you didn't know about it, for the Untitled Chapter Hall of Fame for her soccer season. Something to be very, very proud of. It's an elite honor, I promise you, I tell you that. There's probably 35 nominations every year, and they pick 6 or 7 for each season. It's an academic scholar, it's an award. It's not just being really good at what she does, playing goalie for Upper Darby, but it's her academics that got her there too, so congratulations on that. Kurt, come on up. Of course. So, I know you already have it. Stay home and over. So yes, it's the other half of more, but they're not really other halves. They are 2 totally different people. And growing up, I'm an identical twin. Growing up, you know how close you are to your brothers and sisters, but when you have a twin, it's a different type of a bond. But when I tell you night and day, their personalities are so much different. That's what makes them so much fun to have around. Karen is probably one of the hardest working players on the team. She doesn't miss a practice. She doesn't miss an open gym. And you know, she's also a really good leader. That's why we picked her as a captain this year, because she's not afraid to be vocal. She's not afraid to pick people up, and she's not afraid to help out. And I'll just tell you a real quick story. Last game, almost towards the end of the game, I finally, I shouldn't say finally, I saw one thing that she progressed on. We talk about progression, beginning of the year, end of the year. This is the girl who played 4 years. And we watched her do something that was probably the prettiest pass she's made in her 4 years. We run a play called Stanford. It's a pick and roll play, and when it works really good. And we called it for Kern. The ball was in her hands. She went off the screen. I think she literally shoulder. Never even looked at where she was passing the ball. Never even looked. She attacked the basket the way we teach attack the basket. She didn't even have to see her teammate. She made a roundabout bounce pass to her teammate without even looking at her for the best assist I've probably seen in Curran's career.
That's right.
And the reason I have to call that out is because here we, girls, for the younger girls, here's a senior who's played all 4 years in her last game, working to get better to the last minute, and it's something to look up to. Congratulations. Yeah. Okay, so this next person coming up, and again, I might hurt some feelings, but this next one is probably one of my favorite players. And again, it's because how hard she works, but more importantly, because she doesn't say much. And she holds things in, but Kramer, come on up.
Yo, right here.
So, something about this young lady right here. I've had the privilege of coaching her all 4 years, whether it be JV, all the way through varsity. I got to tell a funny story. You know I'm going to tell this, okay? You know, you learn your players in and year out. And this was one player that I would tell Daryl to the end of this year, go talk to her. I can't figure her out, right? Because she puts a wall up every now and then. She doesn't say a whole lot. She doesn't show her emotions. She just plays. She just plays and plays hard. And this year I got to crack down that barrier she put up a little bit over the years. And in the last practice of her career, last practice of our season of her career, I'm doing what I do, I coach. She turns to me and said, Coach Nick, I don't like when you talk to me while I'm playing. I said, what? No, you make me nervous. Last practice, Karima? Last practice. But again, I share that because Karima didn't communicate a whole lot. We would learn how to communicate, but she finally felt confident in herself to finally be able to say that. And that's why we say you have to have a voice. Okay? They showed that kind of confidence on her last day was something that I will tell you is really, really impressive. Your growth this season is tremendous. You know we think you can play at the next level if you want it. We're going to figure that out and help you get there if that's what you want to do. But her growth this season was tremendous. Her ability to get herself to the basket. More importantly, what did we get you doing? Yeah, shooting the ball. One time she goes, no, I can't shoot the ball, Coach Nick. It doesn't go in. No, shoot the ball. You have a pretty shot. It'll go in. And she was a real big part of our success, the midway point to the end of the year. Congratulations. Good job. Leah. So Leah was fashionably late tonight, like she was for every Saturday practice. So our practice on Saturday this year went 9 to 12, because I knew that certain girls were not going to get there for 9 to 11. So we kind of just made it 9 to 12, and our practice would be 10 to 12, because there were wake-up calls for Leah, right? There were some special Uber rides for Leah. Again, the Booster Club helped with that. But that's okay. So Leah's come so far. Again, athletic ability is through the roof. Her jumping ability is through the roof. She can jump. Her game knowledge, her play, just advanced every time she stepped on the floor. She literally got better and better every time the ball was in her hands. What we had to do with her, literally, slow her down. She likes to go. She likes to go when she can. Trust me when I tell you, there's not a girl in the league, I'll put her up against anyone in the league, even the best players. Her first step and her quickness to the basket, probably best in the league. Okay? What's not best in the league is, we finish sometimes, but that's okay. But that's how good her potential is. When we slowed her down, she kept us in games, she helped us win games. She's the second leading scorer of the team. She was she's leading rebounder in the team, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And I think you had the most deflections on the team. And deflections is important because deflections create what? Steals. Thank you. Fouls. Sorry, you're a freshman. We'll let you go. Right? So Leah, you played great. Another girl that has the opportunity to play at the next level if she wants it. We're working on that, but no matter where you land college-wise, whether basketball's a part of it or not, It doesn't matter. You just keep working as hard as you do on the basketball court and you'll go really far. Good job.
Yeah!
All right, I think we're done. So we just have the awards to go to.
Yeah, excuse me, my good sis.
Oh, that's right. Aubrey, come on up.
Yeah, Aubrey.
All right, so what can I say about Aubrey that I haven't probably already said? I've said it a lot of times. 4-year varsity starter. Started every game as a freshman, maybe missed 1 or 2 games her entire career due to injury. I've had the privilege of coaching her the entire time. As the assistant coach for 2 years, head coach for 2 years. And the one thing I'll tell you about Aubrey that, you know, from day one to last day of the year is that she's a pure basketball player. Her court vision, her instincts, her ability to create space for herself and be able to score and help other people score, among the best in the league. I will go on record right now and tell you, she did not get Central League first or second team, but she did get an honorable mention, which in a league as talented as ours is something to be very proud of. But the record pieces, she's the best point guard in the league. We sometimes get looked over as individuals because of the team record, but they don't get to see coaches vote for Central League. They only look at certain things. And when, you know, here's what I would tell you: when the coach has to plan for one player and plans a defense to play a box and one to take one player out of the offense, that's enough reason to vote her for Central League. If you got a plan for one player, she faced more box and ones, more double teams, more face guarded. And she went out there and just did her thing, which was score, create points for everyone else, and he did an amazing job. The biggest thing I will tell you that I've noticed the most about Aubrey, as she's went from a freshman to this year, is her maturity on the court. She learned how to maintain control and stay focused, and you heard me say earlier, even when she's being attacked, because she was. I mean, she got punched 3 times in the face, and she just took it like this. She went, smiled at him. That type of focus. There was a couple cheap fouls here and there, right? There was a couple foul, like what we call frustration fouls, right, Aubrey?
Yeah.
But the way she played and maintained focus all year was unbelievable. And to be able to play all 4 years of varsity is something you're really proud of. So congratulations. All right, so we did something a little different. I started with managers on the other team. They probably thought I forgot about them. I didn't. So again, you heard me say our managers are really important. We started out like 6 managers. I knew I would only need 2. Because the 2 girls I'm about to bring up here were fun. They helped out. They were at practices. They communicated. Like if I'm not going to be a practice coach, Nick, I'm not going to be at practice tomorrow, which is really important because I need to know what we're doing, how we're doing it, and who's running it. So I'm going to bring our managers up one at a time. Kelly, come on up first. Thank you. Stay everyone saying. So Kelly is, well, let's just put it this way. They have to fight over who gets to keep the clock, but you know, little things like just making sure everything's away after a home game. Like when we come off a tough game, we lose by 2, lose by 22, it doesn't matter. Like they have not have to worry about coming back up and putting the balls away, making sure the cage is cleaned up, the books are put away. You know, things that matter to us, even our personal stuff. Like one game, she grabbed my computer for me. And all like the little things that people don't see. But then it's how they interact with the girls during practice. And they like to have fun, just like the other girls do. So do me a favor, stay here for a second. But congratulations, thank you for all your help. Should we call the other one up? Should we call her up? I guess we have to. Come on. Come on. All right, so Giovanna also is our team manager, and this girl's got some, man, she's got some energy, right? She's not afraid to stand up for her friends. You know, one time there were some wrestlers doing the wrong thing, and she got involved, and you know, made sure her friend was good and you were good, right? But she don't take crap from anyone, including me. Okay. The best thing I will tell you is she likes to buy her food and eat it in the gym, right? You always have something to eat. She lost her laptop or your Chromebook at least 3 times, right? Coach Nick, you know where my Chromebook is? No, I don't. It's your Chromebook. And there was one practice where I even upset her. And I've done that too. Listen, I'm not the easiest person all the time. My wife will tell you that. But she didn't run out of the gym. She kind of sat there, took it. We talked about it. She wasn't afraid to tell me how it made her feel. And I learned a lot about her that day. And I learned that she's committed to our program. And she's committed to our team to help us out. And both these girls did a great job. So congratulations, thank you. Just one little extra thing for both of them is we don't give managers warm-ups. Because it's a player. Their help to us so much this year, and I always said they're just as much a part of the team. So you guys get your warm up. We're going to do freshman awards. We're going to do our freshman awards next. So let me explain our awards so everyone understands. So typically we do 3 player awards based on performance. And then we have different awards as you get to varsity. We have a couple extra awards, and they're kind of what we call character awards. Okay? So for freshmen and JV, we have performance awards for 3 different players. And yes, so we're going to announce them if they're here or not, but we're going to start with who is here. Just making sure. We're going to start with, well, I'll start with who's not here, because this girl did get better. She worked really, really hard. She was actually a reason why freshmen really became a much better basketball team. And her ball handling skills from day 1 to, I'm trying to make sure we got the right one. There's only 3 here, you think I can figure this one out. But I wish she was here, because I watched this young lady begin a season. We talk about composure, right? You heard me talk about focus and composure. This young lady lost composure in 1 game, and it was, it was nothing horrible. She got frustrated. When you only have 2 points, you're playing hard, it's easy to lose composure. But watching her grow and work as hard as she did, Tanisha, who's not here, was the most improved player of the country. All right, so this next award is a player award, not necessarily based on performance, but it's all the tangibles that we like to see in a player who just works hard, continues to want to get better, works day in and day out. I mean, we just call it the Royal Most Coachable Award. And this person gets this award because literally it didn't matter if it was me, Daryl, Vince, or Coach Majidi. It didn't matter what was being said to her. It didn't matter if it confused her. If she was scared to try to do it, she went out and did it. Right? She went out and tried. And it's not going to be a surprise because we already told you how good she got from the beginning to the end of the year. But Janelle, come on up. Listen, so again, when you get a coach's award like this, it's something to be really proud of. Because again, you know what? You make it easy for us to do our job, and you got better because you listen and you actually try to do what we're telling you, even sometimes when it's not the right thing to do. So I'm really proud of you.
So, for our freshman most impact player, let me start by saying I wasn't sure how long she would be playing the season. Because at the beginning, she gave me complaints about shin splints. Then we had concerns about making it to practices, making it to games, but we found a way around that. She went from playing on a freshman team to moving up to the JV team. From JV team to playing pretty much 3 games in 1 day. To the point where I think it was from playing 3 games, she had a headache. Exhausted from carrying the team. So, as the next Christian Laettner.
Oh, snap.
I'm proud of her. We got our own signal. If she has a headache, I just say she do that, and I know they take her out. So everybody said her name before. I'm just gonna call her.
Let's go, Hayatu.
right, so JV has 3 awards. And before we give out these awards, I need to apologize because the person who's going to get this plaque, it's not finished yet. So whoever gets this plaque has to give it back to me, and then I have to take it. The engraving plate didn't come in time, so I apologize in advance. But we'll make sure we get it done. So, again, Coach Darrell, man of few words. We're going to do the JV Most Improved Player first. And I will tell you, again, we could have picked one of 3 different girls for this. The improvement we saw was really, really good and something that we are really proud about. And, you know, again, when you come into a practice, not really knowing what we're doing, how we're doing, and learning how to play in a system, as well as learning how to get better and working hard, especially when you're a little confused, right? Like we're shouting stuff out, and not all the time makes sense to you guys. But this player worked hard every single day in practice. She actually came to me, wanted to know why I didn't ask her to come play on varsity when we asked some of the other girls. And I tell you, that again is pretty impressive for a young player to want to know what she could be doing better. Why not me? Why so-and-so? And when I tell the girls, I'm very transparent and I'm very honest. She wasn't ready yet. She had to work on certain things, and this girl continued to work and continue to work. So the most improved player for JV, Riley. Good job, kid. Congratulations. So for most coachable, again, most coachable means a lot of things. This particular person was a performance player, right? She contributed to points, she contributed to rebounds, she contributed to defense. Her effort was through the roof, and she was a big reason why the team continued to get better. Again, another person who took coaching at the best level possible. Again, you know, it's hard for a JV player who doesn't get to see or talk to me every single day, and I walk down and I see certain things and I interject what I'd like them to be doing. I'd like them to be trying. I want you to work hard in certain areas, and then have to listen to your coach and the other people. It's a lot to take in. But this person took it every single day. You already heard her say she played injured almost all season long, and it was probably watching how hard she worked through that injury was made it very easy for us to pick her as the most coachable. Aubrey, guys. Ready for next year. Alright, so you heard me say the plaque's not done, but it will be done. Probably tomorrow. Day late. So the Impact Player Award, we give an Impact Player Award out on all 3 teams. It's not necessarily an MVP award. I don't really like MVP. But it goes to the person who's really impacted at multiple levels. Could it be scoring? Sure. Could it be the best defender? Absolutely. Could it be just, you know, outgoing, playing hard, listening, taking everything in? All that goes into this award. But this particular player absolutely was the leading scorer on the team. She probably had more assists. She probably shot the ball more than anyone because the ball was in her hands the most. And really showed us that she does have the ability to play varsity at a young age if she continues to work, focus, and dedicate herself to the game. So even though it doesn't say it on here, Sage Walters, come on up. Yeah, you can sit down. All right, so Varsity has 4 awards, and then we'll wrap this up, and you guys can take some pictures and do some stuff. And we have 3 performance awards, and we have a couple of character awards. We're going to do a performance award first, and it's the most improved player. And this is, again, an award that we love because it just shows you how good you can get in a short period of time. And this young lady's confidence in the beginning of the season probably wasn't as strong as it was at the end, but still not where it should be. And when she realizes that she can play this game at a high level and compete with anyone on the floor, she's going to really be a big contributor to our team. So, Cece, come on up. Congratulations. Keep working, you hear me? All right, so this next one's a little different than we've done it, over the years. And I saw one of the other coaches use this award, and once I saw it, it kind of like stuck out to me. Like, I know who the perfect person for this award is. And this can go to probably any one of the players on Varsity. But it's the Royal 3D Award. It's for dedication, determination, and desire. And the reason this person's getting this award is because not only does she work hard and deserve it because she is dedicated to all her sports, she's determined to get better, and she has a desire to win. This young lady came to me probably 3/4 of the way of the season and said, you know, Coach, you might want to take it easy on certain girls. They're getting upset. That's a leader, right, who comes in and says, hey, I understand what you're doing, I understand why you're doing it, but they're getting upset, right? And we talked about some other things, including the fact that she wants to still win, even though it's her last season and we only have 5-6 games left. That's determination, and you already heard me say she got better to the very last second. And when I saw her sitting at the stands after everyone had left after her last game, watching her just take in her final moments as a senior basketball player, it was easy to say that Karen deserves to think. You're welcome. All right. You need my glasses. Okay, so last year we did this award for the first time. And it's the Most Inspirational Player Award. And inspiration can come in a lot of ways. And I'll tell you why I chose this player for this, and we chose this player. Because this person not only inspired her teammates to continue to work to get better, she inspired me as a coach to want to help her get better. Watching how she played, how she wanted to win, how she wanted to get better, how she wanted to put the ball in the net. This particular person, on senior night, probably showed me how much she really wanted. Struggling, couldn't find the basket. Played great. We say it all the time, just because the ball's not going in doesn't mean you're not playing great. But she took that as, I'm not scoring, coach. I remember talking to her just about halfway through the game, right at half court, and I said, just keep playing. Just keep playing. Just keep playing. And she went out and got herself to the basket and scored. Pulled up jump shot, scored again. She got us back into a game. And when you think about inspiration, that's what gets me, the goosebumps in my arm, is just watching the kid just continue to fight and play as hard as she did. You already heard me say she didn't open up so much. But she did. All right, down to our last two awards. So this is a coach's award, and this year the coach's award is for performance. Straight up performance and impact to the team. This particular player led in almost first or second in every category. And when you think about what she means to our team and how she disrupted other offenses, getting her hand on the ball, she led in deflections, she led in rebounds, she led in so many other categories. This person is very deserving of a second impact award for the team, and that would be Aaliyah. Stay here for a second. So, you can hold on to that.
Don't surprise.
So, the one beautiful thing about our stats, even though I used to keep stats myself, the nice thing about our stats this year is it's automated. So our team had 656 total rebounds. Aaliyah accounted for 1/3 of them herself. 214 rebounds. That's just under And though she may have been late to some Saturday practices, when she got there, she worked her butt off. And trust me when I tell you, she didn't always box out. So to be able to get the rebounds that she did when she got good at boxing out made it very easy for her to get more rebounds. And you're a big reason why the team did so well this year. You should be very proud of yourself. All right, last award. It is our Varsity Impact Player of the Year award. And again, for impact, it's about how you perform across the board, top to bottom, inside and out. But again, for this particular person, it's about how she helped other people be better. We think about being a leader on the team. A lot of you guys think, well, who's the best player by the most points they score? It's not. It's about how you impact the individuals around you by helping them be better. And again, for the second year in a row, she led the team in scoring, assists, steals, and the lowest turnovers on the team. Aubrey has come out.
Top 10. Nope. Top 1.
One last thing we need to get through, and it's usually the senior tributes. Obviously, we have senior gifts up here, and I think we have all the awards, right? So make sure that we'll call your seniors up. Dana, you doing the? Come on up. So who else? You're reading, but did other people contribute to it?
Yes.
Can you tell me who? Like,
Yeah.
you want to do it?
Can I just do it?
Yeah,
Let me
do
do
it.
my thing. Come on, trust me.
Do your thing.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good evening.
Daylight savings time, alright?
Good night means you're going to sleep.
That's not a bad idea, right? It's the little things that matter. A phrase that has taken up majority of our heads. Thank you, Coach Nick. However, tonight, as we're here, we wanted to let you guys know how much of a large impact you have on us. I'm nervous, sorry, hold on.
Take your time, kid.
Take your time. Just breathe. I'm trying. On the behalf of the freshman team to the seniors, thank you for helping us throughout the season, especially Karima, Aubrey, and Aaliyah. You guys were always there to pick our heads up at the time when we needed it most. You guys worked very hard this season and gave your best effort. We love you and best in your future endeavors. On the behalf of varsity and junior varsity, to Maura. Maura is my favorite senior because she was welcoming and accepting of everyone. We talked about soccer and basketball. I feel like she has helped me grow as a player and a person, on and off the court. She is always willing to help me if I need anything, and she is very nice. She is very supportive and sweet in many ways. Even when with pressure and many things being on her, she is always there to help me or someone. She never fails to make me laugh let me laugh anytime, and she's just really great. To Kern is an extremely hard worker. She never fails to give her best, no matter the score, and she goes 100 for every drill. She's a great example for new players, and she's also very kind and friendly. I know she will do amazing at Barton. Thank you for always pushing us to be tough and to exceed our limits, and for helping out when we didn't understand something. You have been a great teammate and coach. To Aubrey. Even though I didn't manage last year or knew her for long, she still welcomed me to the team and included me in team talks. Even outside the team, she still shows me kindness and doesn't make me feel like an outsider. She is always making people laugh and have shown a lot of leadership throughout the season. She is always bringing her A game and making everyone feel like they belong. She is easy to talk about anything and is always trying her best. Even with a lot of pressure on her shoulders, she stands tall and is real. Is a real role model that everyone can look up to. We love you, Aubrey Ennis, and good luck to you with your future contract. Oh, that is from Kelly. Yeah, Kelly. Tarima. Oh, Lord. My first grade, from the basketball court to lacrosse field. You were the one who always picks me up when I'm down, and the one who is always cheering for me on and off the court. The one who tells me I'm wrong when I'm right. Thank you for being
right.
when I'm right. Thank you for being you. It's weird thinking I'm gonna be playing basketball one more year without you next year. Oh, don't cry, Rima. It's okay. You and the other seniors taught me a lot throughout my 3 years. Being around you, and I thank y'all for that. Wish you the best of luck in whatever you pursue. I love you lots. That's this is Lily in the back. Aaliyah can always put a smile on someone's face. She is very hardworking and determined player, and she is always there to cheer everybody on. I look up to her a lot, and I hope I can work to be as good as a player as her. I wish her the best of luck in her future. That's from Riley. From Michelle. The seniors were really what made our season so worth it. Practices and games wouldn't have been the same without Aaliyah's laugh, Aubrey's dancing, Kern's hard work, Maura's support, and Karima's high fives. Thank you for always lifting us and cheering us on even through everything. I know you will all go on to be successful and do big things in college. I can't wait to see what you guys accomplish. Good luck and congratulations. Love you guys.
Rachel?
From Kayla. I can't just pick one senior that's my favorite because I love them all in their own ways. So I'll just talk about them as a group. I look forward to every practice and game because they were all so welcoming and kind to me. They worked hard every single day and always motivated me to play my best, to be my best self, both on and off the court. They taught me how to work hard, but that I still can have fun doing it. To the seniors from Kayla. From me, I love you guys. You have all reminded me the reason I choose to play this sport. For the family, because that's what you guys have become. Aubrey, thank you for the passes I could never seem to catch. Aaliyah, thank you for trying to make me as tough as you set out to break my arm while driving to the basket. Kurt, thank you for jamming my fingers with every pass you give to me. Karima, thank you for teaching me that Euro step. And Maura, thank you for teaching me how high I should get my shots up. Most importantly, thank you for being my therapist, coaches, sisters, and teammates.
That's right.
And no matter how many times you fail on this journey, you always got next.
Oh.
So, for the last time in front of everyone, at least from a basketball perspective, we're going to call the seniors up one at a time to get their awards. So, a little different thing is here, Coach Darryl, Coach Vince.
There's one more.
Okay.
From Jade. I don't have a favorite senior because I've connected with each one on a different level. It was amazing watching y'all improve throughout the season. Give me his for the last time. My favorite senior night was Ridley, simply because everyone was positive, working, and supportive. Even though we lost that game, we forced them to work hard for their win. Thank you guys for being my support system. I love you.
Alright, so now, for the last time, we're going to call the seniors back up for their word. And what I was about to say is that there's an extra gift in there from Coach Darryl and Coach Vince this year, which is the jacket that you see Coach Darryl wear. So we're going to call, let's go, Aubrey, you come up first this time. We'll get a picture of everyone together. Aaliyah. Karima. Curran. And of course, Maura. If you guys can get a group picture, that'd be great. Alright, so that pretty much is the run of the show. We thank you all for coming out. You guys can stay. We have the room as long as we want it. If there's more, we'll take some food out, some drinks. Stay as long as you like. Take some pictures in front of you. Someone's got to take some pictures in front of that because Coach Vince worked really hard to get that up. And I tell you, you just see him putting that up. It was like 2.5 hours trying to figure out that the gold goes in the middle. That's me.
Sorry for interrupting you, Coach. Please don't make me run next year. But my good sister Jade want to say something.
Yeah, say it up.
Go ahead, my good sister.
Yeah, wait. Just wrap it up. Yeah, right. That's good.
I love you, my sister.
I don't know about the prize. I just honestly want to give a huge thanks to all the girls on the team. It was an honor being a manager with y'all. From the beginning to the end, carrying water bottles I did not want to. Writing paragraphs, having to remember what I said, having to redirect y'all what time practice started, if we had practice, if we didn't have practice. Or even just talking to y'all off the court, on the court, making edits, doing anything. It was an honor because, or TikTok. It was an honor because I never did this before. But, you know, I had to, you know, elevate, be a little bit more mature, and like learn to talk and communicate with other females. It was cool. Despite any drama or arguments, I want to take out the time now and apologize to Haja for any difficulties that we went through throughout the basketball.
That's our lot.
Honestly, as I reflect on it, I really regret it, and I realized it was a situation that was instigated, and I truly apologize for that. Because it shouldn't have went there. And to Daryl, I really appreciate you. You're really funny to me, and I like the people that did, and I like that. And you helped me manage throughout the whole year, and it was good. Even though in the beginning I really thought you ain't like me. To Vince, when I first met Vince, I never used to hear him. I'm not gonna lie, I used to have my AirPods in. I ain't know anybody, so I was like to myself. This before Kelly, so I was to myself, he used to call me, I did not hear him. So as time went on, he became louder. He used to call me, like, you know, play around on the floor. It was fun. I really appreciate you. Not only have I taken what you've told me off the court, and like in the future as I go and talk to other people, I always like reminisce to it, always think about it, and always think before I do something.
That's right.
On to Coach Nick.
Big Pearl.
So that $5?
On to Coach Nick, I will never ever forget the conversation we had on senior night. I always reflect to it. I told Dana that last night. It just really made me feel like the actual connection to the team. Because I never really felt that way, but after senior night, I felt that way. After Darby's speech, after talking to you, it just made me feel really confident. You always like, you know what to say. You keep it real. And you don't try to hide behind the bush. And I really appreciate that because you're not going to grow if you have somebody hiding behind the bush with you.
That's right.
So, I really appreciate you for keeping it real all the time. Even if I was crying, you kept it real.
Oh my God.
You always kept it real. And I appreciate that. So my business, Kelly, that has to deal with my attitude, my mood swings, my high C addiction, everything. I appreciate you more than anything. And going on in the future, I will never, ever let you go. And to my beautiful seniors, I really appreciate y'all. Not only have I built a bond with y'all, I've learned to like call you sisters. To the twins, it took me a long time to tear y'all apart. Not only have I learned that y'all are very different, but y'all are very funny when y'all are apart. And I really like that about y'all. So Leah, my big sis, I wouldn't be a manager if it wasn't for her. I really appreciate you for keeping my head on straight through everything. Love you. To Karima, you know.
Give me hips.
I really appreciate you, always smiling. My favorite practice was actually one Saturday practice when I was playing old school music and we were dancing on the court.
Yes.
So Aubrey, I love Aubrey from Pasta Night. When we ate pasta and we found out her kitchen, her basement had a kitchen. That was
Aubrey, your basement got kitchen?
Really big, and I really love all of them. So freshmen and JV, freshmen I ain't really had no real bond with y'all, but I know y'all from the same grade. And I really do appreciate y'all. Amazing. Wow. And to JV, y'all don't listen to me. You were. I love y'all. Truthfully, y'all were really funny on the bus ride. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, singing accents, y'all from my ways. Everyone on the team, I love y'all. And to our parents, thank you for having amazing children.
Before I wrap it up again, does anyone else have anything to say?
Coach Darryl, what you got to say?
Everything. No, seriously, does anyone else have anything to say? Everyone good? All right, so we will wrap it up. I will thank you.
I'm so serious. Like, I'm playing. It's not fun. Nope. Okay, go ahead.
Wow. That was good, Dolly. Still beat you in that race. Yeah.
Ladies, I do want to put this out there. We do have weight room on Wednesday. But I'm nice. I'm giving y'all Friday off. Weight room Wednesday, Friday off. So I will see y'all on Wednesday.
Alright, so now I think we're officially done. I want to thank Karen for coming out. Obviously coming out supporting. You can see it's a fun group of girls. The one thing I will say, this makes sets us apart. The program, the amount of support that these girls have for each other, the amount of love they have for each other. That's why we say family when we wrap it up. So can we get one last family on the go? Can we get one loud and proud?
Yes,
Yeah, let's go, Sage. Take a shot. Everyone, let's go. Let's go, everybody up. Everybody up, at least the players. Don't hurt nobody. Let's go. We're good. Let's go.